Hey there, Lana here, and today we're going to talk about emotions because as we get further along the road in our collective healing and awakening, more and more of us are experiencing emotions that need to be processed. And we've been taught that emotions are a problem, that they need to be managed, suppressed, regulated, medicated, or, if you're spiritual enough, transcended. But what if emotion was never the enemy? What if your emotional waves were actually frequency codes? What if every time you felt something deeply, grief, anger, desire, joy, you weren't breaking, you were opening? In this episode, we are flipping the script on emotion. We're talking about what it means to process feelings from the new human frequency, where emotions aren't seen as weakness, but as data, as creative intelligence, as energy in motion. This isn't about avoiding what hurts. It's about becoming the sovereign witness. It's about learning to hold your own field while still feeling it all, and then using that emotional energy as the raw material for aligned creation. This is the emotional upgrade. You don't have to collapse into your feelings, and you don't have to shut them down. You get to alchemize them. Let's talk about how. So let's start here. You are not your emotion. You are the one who observes it, the one who feels it, the one who gets to decide how to move with it or not. We've been conditioned to believe that emotions define us. If I feel angry, I am angry. If I feel sad, I am sadness. But in the new human frequency, we don't collapse into our emotions. We witness them. Emotions are not your identity. They're your indicators. They let you know where energy is moving or stuck, where something wants to be seen, heard, released, or realigned. But they don't get to drive the car. That's your job. And here's where sovereignty enters. To be emotionally sovereign doesn't mean you're cold, unbothered, or detached. It means you can feel everything without letting it override your presence. It means you can say, yes, I feel fear, and I'm still choosing alignment. Yes, I feel grief, and I'm not going to abandon myself. Yes, I feel rage, and I can direct this energy with intention. That's not spiritual bypassing. That's energetic mastery. Your nervous system is your tuning fork. And when you're dysregulated, emotions feel like waves crashing through your system. But when you become the sovereign observer, when you slow down, breathe, and drop into the body, you realize the emotion isn't here to drown you. It's here to deliver a message. And you get to decide, do I respond from the message or do I react from the wave? Because there's a massive difference between feeling an emotion and being consumed by it. The new human knows this. They don't fight the emotion. They don't fix the emotion. They meet it with presence. They listen. They ask, what's the frequency underneath this feeling? What's it pointing me toward? And that's where the alchemy begins. We've been taught to treat emotions like problems, something to fix, to hide, to numb, to manage away as quickly as possible. Feelings get labeled too much, too sensitive, too emotional, as if feeling was the flaw instead of the feedback. But here's what the new human knows. Emotions are not problems, they are messengers. And every emotion carries intelligence. Grief says, you've loved deeply. Anger says, a boundary has been crossed. Fear says, something important is asking for your attention. Desire says, there's a future version of you calling. They're not mistakes, they're maps. But most of us were never taught how to read them. We were taught to override, to suppress, to stay positive or get over it before the energy had time to even move. Emotions are energy in motion, and when you stop trying to fix them, you can actually listen to them, feel them fully, let them rise, move, shift, speak. because that's when they become useful. That's when you start to understand, I'm not broken because I feel deeply. I'm attuned. I'm not failing because I'm emotional. I'm just receiving the signal. And when you stop judging the signal, you can decode it. You can say, I see you. I hear you. Now, what are you asking me to do with this? That's the new human way. We don't numb. We don't bypass. And we don't over-identify. We listen. We translate. We alchemize. And from that place, emotion becomes fuel. So once you've witnessed the emotion, once you've felt it, decoded it, honored it, what happens next? This is where the alchemy begins. Because emotion isn't just something to move through. It's something you can build with. Emotion is raw, charged energy. It's the heartbeat of your frequency field. And when it's witnessed without judgment, without collapse or control, it becomes available. Available to repurpose, available to redirect, available to turn into action. That's emotional alchemy. It's not just healing, it's creation. The new human doesn't just feel an emotion and process it, they partner with it. They ask, how can this feeling fuel something aligned? How can I let this grief write something true? How can I let this rage become boundary, clarity, change? We're not here to suppress or spiral. We're here to feel with purpose. Let's say you're sitting with sadness, old sadness. It rolls through your body in waves. You let yourself feel it. You breathe, you witness, you don't rush. And then you let that emotion move. Maybe you walk, maybe you speak it. Maybe you paint, sing, cry, shake. Maybe you channel it into a boundary you've been afraid to set, or into a truth you're finally ready to tell. This is how the new human creates. Not from perfection, not from constant joy, but from wholeness, from alignment, from frequency-first choice. Emotion isn't something to fear, it's something to work with. Because when you witness a feeling fully, you reclaim the energy that was locked inside it. And once that energy is back in your field, you get to choose what to do with it. That's the power. That's the alchemy. That's how the new human builds, not just through thought or effort, but through resonant emotional presence. And that presence is your superpower. Let's zoom out for a minute, because what we're talking about here isn't just personal, it's planetary. We're not just shifting how you relate to emotion, we're shifting how humanity relates to emotion. And that changes everything. For so long, emotional expression was either pathologized or performed. You were either too much or completely numb. You learned to suppress to survive or explode to be heard. We've had entire generations raised to believe that emotional intelligence was weakness, when in truth, it's one of the highest forms of spiritual intelligence. But here's what's different now. The Earth herself is vibrating differently. She's supporting coherence. She's inviting integration. And the new human is rising to meet that invitation. In the new Earth paradigm, we don't fear our feelings. We don't fix them. We don't weaponize them. We work with them. Emotions are not liabilities. They are creative technologies. Anger becomes clarity. Grief becomes devotion. Fear becomes instinct sharpened by presence. Joy becomes fuel for expansion. We stop outsourcing our emotional state to external conditions, and we stop viewing emotional intensity as something to avoid. We stop seeking peace through numbness and begin anchoring peace through truth. In the new Earth, relationships are built on resonance, not reactivity. Conflict isn't avoided. It's met with grounded emotion and open energy. Parenting isn't control-based. It's attunement-based. Leadership isn't performative. It's energetically regulated. And all of that starts with how you meet yourself. So if you're someone who feels deeply, who's been told you're too sensitive, too emotional, too much, I want you to hear this. Your emotional body is an access point to your power, to your creation, to your truth. You are not behind. You are ahead of the curve, because the future is not emotionally detached. The future is emotionally coherent. And you, in your presence, in your witness, in your ability to meet your feelings without collapsing into them, you are living the new earth emotional frequency right now. So now we arrive at the space in between, the sacred pause, the place where emotion has been witnessed and the next move hasn't been made yet. This is where your power lives, not in the reactivity, not in the performance, but in the pause. The moment when you feel the emotion rising, and instead of collapsing or controlling, you breathe, you drop in, you anchor into presence, and you listen. That moment, right there, is where everything shifts. It's where old patterns dissolve, where nervous system reactivity rewires into regulation, where emotional waves stop being overwhelming and start becoming directional. This is the moment the new human chooses, not just what to feel, but how to move with what they feel. Because that's the art. That's the frequency first way. We're not here to control our emotions. We're here to communicate with them, to meet them with curiosity, to ask, what is this energy asking me to become? So, the next time a wave rises in you, don't run, don't judge it, don't rush to label or fix it. Just pause, breathe, witness, let your emotions speak. Let it move. Let it become fuel. And then, when it's ready, let it guide your next aligned step. Because this is how we create in the new earth. Not from avoidance, not from collapse, but from the center of our embodied truth. You are not your emotion. You are not your reaction. You are the witness, the channel, the alchemist. And now you remember.